Welcome to the FloRacing Studios. I am Michael Rigsby on a very, very exciting Thursday afternoon. Typically when you see me in this spot right here that I'm sitting in, I'm either hosting Castrol FloRacing Night in America, which does return in a couple of weeks, or I'm hosting the Rigsby Report or doing a video cast preview for a very big event. But today it is for an absolutely different purpose. We've got a very big and very special announcement. And I say this very candidly, when I sold Dirt on Dirt to FloRacing all the way back in 2019, there were 3 phone calls that I made within a week of selling the company. One of those calls was to a racetrack promoter and owner in Florida where I simply said, hey, if you ever look to go a different direction with your broadcast opportunity for your event, please feel free to reach out to me. I tell you that story all the way back about 2019 because I knew the importance of that event. I knew the impact of that event, and I knew what it would mean to have that event on the FloRacing airwaves. Fast forward almost 5 years now, and we've arrived at that moment that I was waiting for. It is a big day for short track racing. It is a big day for this event. It is candidly a very big day for myself and for Flo Sports. Enough from me here in the studio. Let's throw it out to our very own Matthew Dillner, who is with us from Pensacola, Florida.
Thanks, Rigsby. It's an absolutely beautiful day here in Pensacola, Florida at Five Flags Speedway, a place that, well, it just screams American short track racing, one of the best super late model tracks in the country and home of one of the biggest races in the country, the Snowball Derby. And I'm with Tim Bryant, co-owner here at Five Flags Speedway. And today's a very special day because we have a very special announcement.
We do, Matthew. And by the way, it's great to have you here and your team of people. It's an exciting time for us. We're getting started with our 2024 racing season. A big event here tomorrow night. But all eyes are on the Snowball Derby, as we say, during the entire year.
So what's the big announcement today? Why are we sitting on this wall here with the beautiful Tom Dawson Trophy?
Well, listen, I mean, a little bit of change in store for this year's Snowball Derby. And by the way, tomorrow night's race will be broadcast on Racing America, as we've been doing for so many years. And, we have had a great relationship with all those people, and we'll continue that on into the future as we work with them throughout the regular season. This year, the 57th annual Snowball Derby will switch streaming platforms. We're excited about joining up with Flo Sports for the Snowball Derby.
We're excited to have you, and a big announcement with that too is a little bit of I won't even say a little bit, a big purse increase. Tell us about that.
Yeah, we, the Snowball kind of culminates everybody's season, and it's turned into quite the experience over the years. And we've tried to do everything we could. We actually raised the purse last year. Yep. We went from $30,000 to win to $35,000 to win. But listen, there's a little revenue in the streaming world now. I think everybody knows that, and with the help of Flo Sports, we're able to justify raising the purse again this year. The Snowball Derby will pay $50,000 to the winner.
Wow. Talk about a big payday. Talk about progression, because we're sitting here and we're, months away from having a $50,000 to win Snowball Derby. Those stands right behind us, you sat in those grandstands as a kid. You've seen this progression better than almost anybody here. Tell me about the progression of this race, because it's gone from local to regional to being widely known as one of the biggest in short track races in the country.
Well, I mean, it has, thanks to a lot of people. And it all started in 1968 when Tom Dawson, whose name adorns this trophy today, started the first Snowball Derby. It was a 100-lap race, paid $1,000 to win, which was pretty big in 1968. I think the timing of the race has helped tremendously. It's very late in the season. Most everybody else is done. A lot of tracks come here. Track representatives come here, and we're always glad to host them. And that has helped. And then, of course, through the years, the race became a little bit longer, and some stars won the race. Donnie Allison, Darrell Waltrip, to name a few. But it's really been a short track race through and through for the grassroots level. I mean, Freddie Fryers, Jeff Purvis's, guys like that have won this race, and obviously the list goes on and on. And then as we kind of elevated through the 90s, the Spears family took the Snowball Derby to the next level. The Bryant family took over the track in 2004, and with that we felt a tremendous responsibility to try to continue to grow the event. And by the way, I'd be remiss if I didn't say the folks at Speed51.com and later Racing America helped us along that path. As time gone on, now all of a sudden our NASCAR stars are kind of looking at the event again. You can watch this Sunday's race and see a long list of drivers that have either competed and even won the Snowball Derby. Still a short track event. Ty Majeski is the defending winner. Considered probably one of the top short track guys, even though he's in the Craftsman Truck Series now. As a defending winner, it came right down to Bubba Pollard and Stephen Nasse, two icons in short track racing last year. Both of them were going for the win, and it didn't work out, and it kind of laid it in Ty's lap.
Moment.
It was an unbelievable moment. Both of those guys certainly have one of these things coming at some point in time. So, all that said, that was kind of the progression of the race, and again, this year with the involvement of Flow Sports, the NASCAR regional program has been somewhat supportive in the background of our event, but now with their affiliation with Flow, we think that we'll have a little more involvement with the NASCAR regional people, and with that, some resources that will only make the experience better for what we feel like the fans and the competitors.
How do you see the Blizzard Series as important to this? Because people maybe that are watching this announcement may not be familiar with, say, the Blizzard Series, which is the road to the Snowball Derby, the in-season road to the Snowball Derby. Can you explain that to the folks that maybe don't understand what we're talking about when we say the Blizzard Series, because it's really cool.
Well, I'll do my best in that. When we took over the track in 2004, we created 5 super late model races throughout the event. We named it the Blizzard Series, and the thought behind that was 5 blizzards will make for a gigantic snowball. So over time, we reduced it down to 4 as we became affiliated with the Southern Super Series and started traveling around to other super late model events. But what we found is, guys, our track is a little on the fickle side. It doesn't tend to give you the same thing race after race, but yet these guys continue to come run the Blizzard races in preparation for the Snowball Derby. And that doesn't mean they won't have to come here and test right before the Derby. Obviously, weather conditions are different and everything else, and the track tends to change from week to week, but they feel compelled to make laps around this track.
And so many people come from, whether it's regional people or you'll have your last year's champions from California. Think about that. That's an amazing thing, this race track, not just the Snowball Derby being on a national level. But when we sit here on this wall and you look at this trophy, obviously $50,000 has to have any short track racer in America absolutely salivating, right? If you have a super late model to come down here to Five Flags Speedway in Pensacola, Florida. But it's always been about this. This trophy, the honor of becoming a Snowball Derby champion, whether you're a local like Eddie Mercer or Johanna Long, or a national level superstar like Kyle Busch or Chase Elliott. From your point of view, what do you think it means? You were a racer. What do you think it means to have this on your mantle?
Well, I think it means a lot. It wasn't that many years ago the race paid $20,000 to win, and then we took it to 25, and then 30, and 35, and now this year 50. But I think you said it best. It's really about this. This is what they want. Of course, the cost of racing is escalating every day, and we all know that, and we're cognizant of that. And I don't know if purses can ever justify the cost of racing. We hope it can someday. But again, there's certain trophies that are iconic, and there's not just this one. There's several. The guitar in Nashville is another one that comes to mind, and but the Tom Dawson Trophy is something that's highly coveted, and I think a lot of these guys will feel like their career maybe is a tad bit incomplete if they don't get one of them.
Well, Tom Dawson was the guy that brought super late models into, late model stock cars into fruition here at Five Flags Speedway in 1968, of course, with the creation of the Snowball Derby, and now the 57th annual Snowball Derby, one of the greatest races in the history of short track racing, will be live on FloRacing.
Matthew and Tim, thank you so much. So there you have it. For the first time ever, the Snowball Derby will be on FloRacing this coming December as Flow Sports has reached an exclusive agreement with Five Flags Speedway to stream the biggest short track pavement race on the planet. I know right now there's a lot of late model, dirt late model and dirt sprint car fans watching this. And if you're not familiar with the Snowball Derby, let me put it in terms that you would understand, right? This is their Knoxville Nationals. This is their World 100. This is the Chili Bowl for midgets. Quite simply, it is the biggest pavement race in North America. It's a race that's steeped in tradition. It's an event that's, I'm trying to think of the right adjectives. It's blanketed in heritage and moments that have stood the test of time, 56 plus years now. And it's a huge get for us here at Flo. And I cannot thank Tim, like I said, who I called all the way back in 2019 about this event. I cannot thank him and his wife and everybody enough for working with us. We will have reaction from Bubba Pollard in just a few minutes, my personal favorite pavement late model driver, Bubba Pollard, who also promotes a Castrol FloRacing Night in America event at Sonoy. He'll give us his thoughts. But first, the Snowball Derby itself, as a reminder, is on Sunday, December 8th. And we're going to talk about later in this program how big that weekend is for Flo for so many reasons just outside the Snowball. But the Snowball Derby is more than just the Sunday event. My producer, Kane, throw up. This is everything that goes on at Five Flags all weekend long, all the way from Wednesday's rig parking all the way through the finale, the 57th annual Snowball Derby. It is just one of the things about this event is that it is an event. And what I'm trying to say there is it's not just about cars on racetrack. It goes so much deeper than that. It's about everything that you see on your screen all the way from Wednesday in the morning when those first rigs roll in. And I know Rob Blunt and Brandon Paul and Matthew Dillner will be there that morning. I know that they're going to be in attendance when that happens, all the way through the checkered flag flying on the 300-lap race on Sunday. You've got, of course, snowball and snowflake practice. You've got the sportsman stuff, the pure stock racing, the Derby qualifying on Friday, the crown stock, the modifieds. All of these things go into the composite to make what is the Snowball Derby as an event. I just wanted to make sure our folks at home knew that. This isn't just about Sunday. It's about all this stuff which will be on FloRacing leading up to the finale on that Sunday. We also want to give a shout out to our friends at Racing America who will have the full Blizzard Series schedule. You heard Tim and Matthew talk about that Blizzard Series schedule. Those will be live, as you see here, on Racing America leading up to the Snowball Derby, December 4th through the 8th. The next one, of course, April 26th. So coming up tomorrow, actually. That's on Racing America, the Blizzard Series race number 3 in June, and in September, the Night of Champions. Those next 3 you can find on Racing America. A big shout out to them. I talked about the heritage and tradition of this event, and I think it's pretty evident when you look at the winners list. I've only got the last 10 years here. Ty Majeski last year, Derek Thorne. You see the names on this list, right? Donnie Allison, though, won it back in 1975. Darrell Waltrip in 1976. Gary Ballou, Jeff Purvis, for my dirt track fans, also former winners of this event. But when you look at this screen here, what makes this thing so special isn't just the Chandler Smiths and those guys winning this race. It's the Cup influence that this has really had and developed in the last several years, with Kyle Busch winning it in 2017. Of course, Chase Elliott winning in 2015. You see Eric Jones on this list. In this genre of motorsports, and I'm speaking almost directly to my dirt track fans here, this is the NFL. This is the highest level. This is the high limit, the World of Outlaws. This is Lucas Oil, the World of Outlaws on the late model side. That's what you're looking at when you take a look at the winners of this event. And I love what we're about to discuss next, because this is the stuff that I really eat up. The Snowball Derby fun facts, the things that you kind of dig in a little bit more to teach people about the event that they may not know, or regulars of the event who might attend it who might not know. It was a special long-distance stock car race created by track promoter Tom Dawson. Of course, like Tim and Matthew said, his name is on the trophy now. He passed away in 2005. Like I said, he's the namesake of that trophy. The first Snowball Derby was only 100 laps. Now it's a 300-lap event. And I mentioned this a little bit ago. 2 NASCAR Hall of Famers have won the Derby. Donnie Allison in 1975 and Darrell Waltrip the next year in 1976. Rich Bickle with the most Snowball Derby wins at 5. Most starts, the late David Rogers holds the record with 33. 33. I'm actually kind of wondering to myself, who has like 33 Knoxville National starts? Like Steve Kinzer, I'm sure. Donnie Schatz, maybe. I'm trying to put it in perspective for our dirt track audience. 33 is an awful lot. And one of the members of the Alabama gang, Rugged Farmer, is second on that list. Most consecutive starts with 32, actually. We've got more. Two female drivers have won the Derby. Tammy Jo Kirk scored the upset win back in 1994, becoming the first. And Joanna Long, victory in 2010 was one of the great, I love this piece of this event too, local driver triumphs of all time. In the 21st century, nobody has won this race 3 times, but 5 folks have done it twice. Audie Grill, Chase Elliott, Kyle Busch, Eric Jones, who you saw on that previous winner's screen, Ty Majeski have each taken it 2 times. In total, 811 folks have competed in this running, 56 runnings at the Snowball Derby. Drivers well known, like I talked about in the dirt world, Jeff Purvis, a World 100 winner and a Dirt Late Model Hall of Famer, and Gary Ballou have also won the Snowball Derby. So just a ton of interesting fun facts and so much as we lead up. We'll have a lot more of that as we head in all the way to December. And I say this all the time. He's not only the best pavement driver in the country, from my perspective anyway, but he's a hell of a promoter. He's a great businessman, and I like to say just an all-around good human being. We have reaction from him now. Excited to hear from Bubba Pollard, who joins Matthew Dillner to give us his thoughts on the Snowball Derby joining Flow Sports.
Thanks, Rigsby. Here at Five Flags Speedway, catching up with one of the biggest names in pavement super late model racing, Bubba Pollard. Bubba, the announcement has been made. The 57th Snowball Derby will be live on FloRacing. Want to get your thoughts. What are your initial thoughts on that?
Oh, I think it's great. I think it's going to bring a lot of excitement to the Snowball Derby for a lot of different reasons. I feel like, and the product Flow puts out is going to make it great for the fans, and hopefully, we can. Flow carries such a wide variety of motorsports. I feel like it's going to bring some potential sponsors into the sport, super late model asphalt side of things, and obviously, and get a new audience. Let Five Flags here showcase the Snowball Derby, and I think it's a great opportunity. The Flow does a great job. We're partners at Sonoy Raceway with them, and man, just couldn't be happier. So I'm excited about it, and hopefully we can put on a good show for the fans.
Another thing I'm sure you're excited about is part of this announcement, a record purse for the race, $50,000 to win. As someone who goes around the country chasing these big money races, how much does that mean to you?
Well, it does. And, this week, the Snowball Derby week is super expensive. It takes a lot for these teams to come out and compete at a high level and to win this race. It's a long week. But, I think it's a great opportunity, like I said earlier, just to bring out some sponsorship. And it could go a long way with the way Flow produces things. And I think it's great for short track racing. So we're excited about it. And the purse definitely helps. We definitely want to win the race, but the money side of things definitely helps.
You're a guy who's now you're a veteran. Let's put it simple. You're a veteran of this sport now. I don't know if you want to hear that or not, but you've been around this race for a while, Bubba. What have you seen with the progression of the Snowball Derby?
Oh, it's crazy because with the streaming that's going on nowadays, I feel like the Snowball Derby here in the last 5-6 years, even 2 or 3, I mean, it's really taken off. And you see a lot of fans that's hey, they've seen it on streaming, they've seen it online, they want to come down to the Snowball Derby and be a part of it. And I think it's just a progression here that's going to happen. I think it's going to be bigger and better this year with everything Flow's got going on. So hopefully, Flow can put it somewhat get back into the drivers and let the fans get introduced to some of these drivers that showcase their talent each and every week.
Bigger and better, obviously that's what we want out of the 57th Snowball Derby, but this is a race, whether it's bigger or better or not, you want to win, and haven't exactly had the best of luck all the time. Last year came very close, but with all this being said, $50,000 to win, how much do you want to win this race in 2024?
Well, it's important to me, my team, my family, just everyone, and the fans as well. I mean, this is a place I started running, grew up racing. It's been a part of my racing career all these years. So, man, it's huge. We were so close last year to getting it done, but I feel like it's a lot of things have to go in place to win that race and to make it all happen. So hopefully we can do that.
Not Matthew Dillner, but Brandon Paul on that interview. Brandon, thank you so much. I know they've been scrambling down there today to make sure all this content's gotten turned around. Thank you to both those guys. I have no doubt there are many fans of short track pavement racing watching right now. And while obviously today is all about the Snowball Derby, I want to make sure that our asphalt friends realize Flow has a lot for you on the platform. Kane, let's take a look at just some of that stuff now. pavement offerings that we've got coming up, starting with, I believe, Stafford's season opener this weekend, the Spring Sizzler, of course. Don't forget the exclusive home of the Cars Tour is also on FloRacing. Every event from the Cars Tour you can watch right here on Flo. Money in the Bank from Berlin. That's one of my personal favorite pavement events. Of course, we've got the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour, the South Boston 200, Hampton Heat, another big race at Berlin. The Credit Union 300 at Martinsville. I know Martinsville is a big piece of everything we do. South Carolina 400 all the way in November, which Dale Earnhardt Jr. usually competes in. And our pavement offering, while it goes all year long, once again, will culminate in December 4th through 8th with the 57th annual Snowball Derby. But we've got a lot more than that, and I really wanted to illustrate that with this graphic that we have grown our short track asphalt offering immensely. And of course, on the dirt side, Kane, throw that up there as well. We've got more than you can possibly watch. We got, of course, Brad Sweet and Kyle Larson's High Limit Sprint Car Tour, the official home of the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series, the Cars Tour, which I mentioned, USAC, which was really the first big dirt track partnership that we had here at Flo, was USAC, Kevin Miller and his gang, and they mean so much to us. I think we're getting close now. I think Indiana Midget Week is not that far off. Eldora, once again, on our platform, the NASCAR Regional Tour, the Gateway Dirt Nationals in December. New this year, American Flat Track. Started off like gangbusters for us here at Flo. AFT live on Flo exclusively. And two events that I think everybody in the world is familiar with, the Tulsa Shootout and the Chili Bowl Nationals, those in late December and early January of 2025. Okay, you have seen his smiling face, and when I say smiling, I mean it has been smiling ear to ear all day. He is kid in a candy store happy this afternoon, and he should be. Matthew Dillner, who you heard from with Tim Bryan earlier, joins me live now. Matthew, I'm going to start with a very simple question first and foremost. For a guy that works at Flo Sports and a guy that loves the Snowball Derby, this is an easy first question. I just want to know, on a 1 through 10 scale, how happy are you today, buddy?
Oh man, this is like Christmas, but I knew what my Christmas present was going to be, and I couldn't open it yet. I couldn't tell anybody. My mother was wondering why I was going down to Florida, and I was like, I can't tell you, Mom. But you know, to have the platform that I work with you guys, you know, obviously with Flo Sports and FloRacing, to have one of my favorite races in the world, the Snowball Derby, is just an incredible thing. And you know, I got to be honest, like driving down with Brandon Paul and Rob Blount to pull in at the front gate here and see the Five Flags Pensacola Five Flags Speedway sign, and to be back here even as a group, because some of us have covered this race in the past, is just absolutely the hairs stood up on our arms. We were all kind of giddy about it as we were pulling in the parking lot, and it's been hard to hide the excitement that the three of us down here today have had.
I don't know about earlier this week. You've not done a good job hiding it today, and that's okay, though. I like that, right? I want it to not be hidden. There's definitely people watching Matthew right now. Listen, we have a huge dirt track audience, too. That's part of what excites me, is that we're going to get them excited about the biggest short track pavement event on the planet. But there's some of those folks who, I don't know if they've never heard of the Snowball Derby, but don't know it as intimately as you do. Sell us on it. Tell these folks why this event and this race matters so damn much.
Well, you're seeing the shots at a racetrack right now, and my gosh, like even when you drive in here with a streetcar and you hit the pavement here at Five Flags, this racetrack is just pure badassery. I mean, it's the grittiest textured pavement. You know, it's kind of like coarse sandpaper. But as far as the racetrack, as far as a racer's standpoint, you just dive in these high bank corners, and it's like a roller coaster. It's just an incredible racetrack for super late models. And this race just means everything to a person that loves super late models, whether you're a driver or media person or a race fan. You know, I know people from New England, from Canada, all over that just come to Pensacola for the Snowball Derby. You know, I think you hit the nail on the head, you know, earlier in the show when you said, you know, to midget people, the Chili Bowl, it just means so much, right? It's not about the money. It's not about this or that. You know, it's about coming here in the winter and racing with, you know, you'll have guys from all walks of racing here competing in a super late model, whether it's your NASCAR stars that always get to talk, or, you know, like we were talking about Jeremy Doss, who's the Blizzard Series defending champion. He's all the way from out in California. That's a pretty cool thing. So,
and then every once in a while you get those local favorites. So it's just a beautiful event and a beautiful racetrack, and I can't wait for so many people to be exposed to it for the first time.
I know that we're only about 20 minutes into this announcement sort of being fresh, but I also know that you have a smartphone and you are, I like to say, the mayor of short track pavement racing is Matthew Dillner. I like to throw that term around. What has the reaction been from your friends, your pavement insiders, those kind of people? I'm sure they've been reaching out to you and tweeting at you in the last 20 minutes. What are they saying?
Yeah, Twitter's been pretty active. Text messages too. Mark Martin, Kyle Busch, Noah Gregson. Noah's going to be running the Snowball Derby this year again. So many people. I know his phone's been blowing up, and so is Brandon Paul's since the announcement here. So, and we're all kind of just in it right now. So it's going to be a fun night when we eventually, after practice here for the Blizzard Series today, go back to the condo, the Airbnb, and decompress, because we all know this means a lot, but we also have practice we're going to go out there with the guys and racing and stuff to be here for. But it's just it's a pinch me moment right here.
I'm pinching you. Kane, I can't get it this way. I'm virtually pinching you. Last thing, you're, to me, one of the great storytellers in all of short track racing. You know that I think that about you, is one of the reasons I wanted you at Flow so much. I kind of want to know already, how much mad scientist work have you started thinking about? How much storytelling have you started thinking about? I know December will be here before you know it. Give us a little sliver of anything, Matthew, what we might expect on the content and film side as we head into the Snowball.
Yeah, well, the work you guys have, the foundation you guys have built with things like Road to Eldora. Last year we did kind of a road to the Chili Bowl. Heck, we went back to the condo last night and we were going to watch hockey. We spent most of our time talking about Pensacola and talking about the Snowball Derby and talking about, hey, what kind of really cool pieces can we do? So the hamster wheel in the head here is already spinning wildly, as it is with Brandon and Rob, and we've already got some really cool ideas. We're going to talk to some of the legends of the Snowball Derby. We're not just going to focus on the big names and the big NASCAR names and this and that. There's legends of the Derby, whether you're talking about Wayne Anderson to Dickie Davis to, Gary Ballou, a legend down here, a two-time winner of the Snowball Derby. Just absolutely, those are the type of guys that I just salivate on a chance to talk to. But so many greats have won this race, and I've actually got the trophy sitting on the desk next to me, and it's kind of neat to always see the old Tom Dawson trophy. And let's see if I could even get it in the shot here, Rigsby.
Oh, yes, bring it over. Oh, look at this.
It's so big it doesn't fit in the shot.
I would like to see the Snowball. There it is. There it is.
There's a Snowball, and then all the names that are listed on here. It's just a who's who of auto racing on the pavement side, and all the moments from the big NASCAR guys to Ed Howe.
Yeah.
To like I said, the local favorites. The Dickie Davis wins. The Johanna Long win was. I just remember this place erupting.
Yeah.
And it was like being at Bowman Gray, that stadium type feel when you heard the crowd like this, and when she won that race, and same with Eddie Mercer, a local that had been a short track veteran, grizzled veteran here for so many years. When he finally got to win it, the emotion that he wore on his face in victory lane really painted the picture of why this race means so much to everybody.
Matthew, one last piece of breaking news. We haven't told your beautiful wife and children yet that you're getting a condo in Pensacola from now through December, that you'll be staying down there. I thought this was a good time to maybe bring that news up to them and let them know, honey, I'll be back in December. Is this going to land okay with her or no?
We'll get back to you on that.
Matthew, I do want to keep you on the air for two things. But some tweets are starting to roll in. We talked about social media. Kane, throw that up there. I think it's from Ty Majeski. I think, right, Kane, Ty Majeski? Yeah, I said, huge news for short track racing. The biggest super late model race in the country just got a little bigger. Flow Sports, of course, the official streaming partner, and it will pay $50,000 to win this year. I'm sure Ty's one of those guys that reached out to you, Matthew. That's nothing small either, right? This thing now pays $50,000 to win. It's entering into that space of what those dirt track races pay, which is what we want. That's what we want to see, right, Matthew?
Yeah, we've seen an uptick of that in pavement short track racing, between this race going up last year and its purse. And we saw it in modified racing with the Whelen Modified Tour and the Smart Modified Tour. Things are growing. The Smart Modifieds But you look at Cars Tour, you know, they typically have their old North State Nationals that are 30 grand to win. You know, the momentum from the dirt track world, I think, is coming over here, and we're going to gain more partners in this sport, in this sector of the sport as well. But having Flow involved and getting this out to a different audience and a more expanded audience, I think is going to grow the sport. Pavement short track racing needs that little boost. Okay, remember historically, you know, back in the day when nobody was paying big money in dirt track racing, and all it took was one or two events that got the snowball, pun intended, rolling down the hill. And this right here to be $50,000 is amazing. And I know Ty, you know, talking with Kyle Busch, he absolutely loves the fact that it's going to be $50,000, and you know, that's a big thing. You know, I was texting with Mike Herman Jr., who's Ty's spotter and has won the Snowball Derby, also with Johanna Long, and everybody in this scene is really pumped right now.
Last thing I wanted to share with you, Matthew, we had this graphic created, and our own Michael Reiner's turn affectionately said, "Is this too big to say this in the graphic?" And I said, "No, leave it on there. I kind of want to get reaction to it." Don't forget, we don't just have the Snowball Derby that first weekend of December, but running side by side with it, in essence, is the Gateway Dirt Nationals from the Dome at America Center. Now, Gateway will conclude on Saturday, so it's December 5th through the 7th, while simultaneously running and will conclude on Sunday is the 57th Annual Snowball Derby. Biggest week in Flow Racing history? At first, people are like, no way. I don't know, Matthew. You start to think about it. That is a massive December weekend in a time of year where there is nothing else going on. That's going to be awfully fun, and I can feel our live production folks and our content creation folks, their heads spinning already about how we're going to pull it off. But I promise you we will, Matthew. That's going to be a fun weekend.
The reason we're going to pull it off is because we have a bunch of racers in our group.
That's right.
You know, and we're willing to, a lot of people here that are willing to dig deep for the sport. And that's the important thing. When you can champion the sport and put the sport ahead of ourselves, that's when we all win. And, you know, that weekend, if you're a racing fan, get your 2 screens ready. Because if I was sitting at home, I would be in I'd be in my glory right there.
We may have something special in store for you. You may not even need 2 screens that weekend, Matthew. We'll see. We're working on some things for that weekend. So, and listen, I've been looking up hostels in Pensacola, so don't worry your wife. You'll be in good hands. I just wanted to let your wife know for this duration. Matthew Dillner, thank you for everything. You and Brandon and Rob Blunt. I can't say it enough. We have this trio. Listen, within Flow Sports, we have the kind of the dirt guys and the drag racing folks, Courtney Enders and Tom. Our pavement trio of Rob Blunt, Brandon Paul, and Matthew Dillner, I would put up against any genre of expertise in any form of motorsports in the world. Those 3 are incredible. I'm so proud to call them coworkers and colleagues. Matthew, thank you guys for everything that you've done down there this last 24 hours. I really mean that. I appreciate it.
Thank you, man. We have our heart in this race, and hopefully now we can show that to the race fan
thanks,
and to the viewers.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. Get some rest tonight, and we'll talk soon, okay? One final thought, guys. Don't forget the Snowball Derby, 57th Annual Snowball Derby, live exclusively on Flow Racing December 4th through the 8th, right, Kane? The Gateway graphic threw me off. December 4th through the 8th, live on Flow Racing exclusively. Thank you to our pavement team that's been down at Pensacola capturing all that news. Thank you to our production team who made today's live announcement possible. And thank you to you guys, the race fan, who keeps upping the ante and growing things for us at Flow Racing. We're just getting started. We'll see you guys soon. Snowball Derby live on Flow. Huge news today. Thanks, guys.